How do I make an adjustment entry? Well, making an adjustment entry is a little bit tricky, so we're going to spend the next few days practicing, and we're really going to nail down this concept. The easiest way to learn how to create adjustment entries is through the use of an example. So if we look in the middle of our screen, the example reads, Student company shows a balance of $4,000 in supplies accounting. A physical count indicates $1,000 of supplies on hand at the end of the fiscal period. Journalize the required adjustments for supplies. Now, the reason that we have to adjust this account is because the supplies were used during the fiscal period, but we have yet to reflect them on our general ledger. As you can see below at the bottom of the screen, the general ledger currently remains blank. So when we make our adjusting entries, it is important to remember that any time an asset is used, an expense account will be debited and an asset account will be credited. So now you might be asking yourself, well, what is the expense and what is the asset in this example? Well, that's simple. The supplies expense is known as the expense, and the supplies account is the asset. So now when we figured out our asset and our expense, it is now time to begin the adjusting process. In order to understand the adjustment, we have to be familiar with the beginning balance and the ending balance. So the beginning balance is $4,000, and the ending balance is $1,000. In order to create the adjustment, we need to know the difference between the beginning and the ending balances. So in this example, we see that $4,000 was in the beginning of the balance. So we put that on the line, and then we subtract $1,000 because that was what was used at the end of the period. After we do our math, we can see that the adjustment will be $3,000. So now that we figured out the adjustment, it is now time to record it on the general ledger. So as we remember, an expense account will be debited, the asset account will be credited. So when we record it on our general ledger, we debit $3,000 from the supplies expense, and we credit $3,000 to the supplies account. Then we are left with a total adjustment of $3,000. So as you can see, creating the adjustment entries is not as tricky as we thought it would be. We just need to take our time, completely read the entire problem, and understand our beginning balances and our ending balances. Do you think you can do it? Let's try.